Hey there, grade 6. New video for you guys today. This one's called Order of Operations, again out of our math workbook. And so there are a couple of learning targets there that are kind of teachery, wordy, jargony kind of stuff. All it basically means is that I'm going to teach you about what brackets are in math sentences and how to use them. And then I'm going to teach you about how to use order of operations. And so where we start is, well, what are operations? Well, we've come across these words, addition, subtraction. You guys have been hearing them since you were very, very small. These are our four operations in math. Now, an order of operations just tells us that there's a specific order that we have to do them in. But even before that, sometimes, there are sometimes operations in brackets. Now, that's just these guys, these two brackets. And so whenever you see an operation in brackets, you have to do that first. And so here we have a couple of different math sentences. So this says 8 minus 5 plus 2. And so I'm going to do that part first. And so my next line of calculation is going to see 8 minus 5 is 3. And then I'm going to add that to 2, which means that's going to equal 5. Now over here, I have this bracket. Sorry that the watermark is kind of covering it, but I have 8 minus and then 5 plus 2. And so my next line of calculation would be, I don't have to do anything to the 8 just yet. I haven't touched the subtract sign. All I've done is that 5 plus 2, which is 7. So 8 minus 7 is going to equal 1. Now notice that it depends wherever I put the brackets are. It could influence the answer. In this case, I got 1, but over here I got 5. So just a bit of practice then on evaluating these expressions. So 8 plus 4 is in a bracket, so that gets done first. So that's going to be 12, and then take away the 3, and that's going to equal 9. Now notice that this is a similar, this is 4 minus 3, that is going to get done first. So that's going to give me 8 plus 1, which is also going to give me 9. Over here I have 8 minus 2, that's the stuff that's going to get done first. And so that's, oops, just put that over here, that's 4 times 3, which is going to give me 12. And then over here, I'm doing that multiplication first. So that's 8 minus 6, which equals 2. Notice, different answer. Brackets sometimes influence the answer. Here's 12 divided by, and then in brackets, 2 times 3. So that's going to give me 12 divided by 6, which is 2. And then over here, this is 12 divided by 2 in brackets, and then times 3. So that gets done first. So 12 divided by 2 is 6, times 3 equals 18. And again, notice, different answer depending on where you put the brackets. So the operation that you do first often changes the answer, but not always. That's kind of the takeaway there. Now, there's a couple of rules in the questions where we don't see brackets. So when there are no brackets, do addition and subtraction from left to right. And so this is just addition, subtraction, and so it's 8 minus 5 is 3, plus 2 is 5. Okay, so that's all. That just do addition, subtraction from left to right if there's no brackets. So just a bit of practice, real quick. 6 plus 3 is 9, minus 2 is 7. 6 minus 3 is 3, plus 2 is 5. 14 minus 5 is 9, plus 6 is 15. And then 9 plus 4 is 13, minus 4 is just 9. So just do them left to right. Now, here's a bit of a bonus stuff. Looking at these questions and seeing if we need to put brackets in somewhere to see if we're going to get the right answer. So this one says that 9 minus 4 plus 2 equals 3. Well, 9 minus 4 is 5 plus 2 equals 7. But if I put brackets here, then that's 9 minus, but I do this stuff first, so it ends up being 9 minus 6, and that equals 3. Over to B, 7 plus 5 is 12, minus 3 is 9, so that one does not need any brackets. Here is 2 plus 6, which is 8 minus 5, which is 3, so that one does not need brackets. 8 minus 3 is 5, plus 2 is not 3. So if I put brackets in here, then this becomes 8 minus 5, which is 3. So that one's now correct. Then 7 minus 3 is 4, plus 2 is 6. So looking at questions, sometimes you have to determine where the brackets need to go. All right, so similar rule, when there are no brackets, you do multiplication and division from left to right. Notice it doesn't say like multiplication and addition from left to right, that they have grouped together adding and subtracting in one group, and then addition or multiplication and division in a second group. So then we see these kinds of questions and we go, well, okay, so 6 divided by 3 is 2 times 2, that equals 4. 4 times 4 is 16, divided by 2 is 8. 2 times 6 is 12, divided by 3 is 4. 12 divided by 3 is 4, times 4 is 16. So again, multiplication, division, just get done left to right. Again, similar kind of question with addition, subtraction. Do we need to add brackets anywhere? 3 times 6 is 18, divided by 2 does equal 9, so we don't need brackets there. 12 divided by 6 is 2, times 2 is not 1, but if I put brackets here, this ends up being 12 divided by, and because I have to do the bracket first, this becomes 12, so it's 12 divided by 12, which does equal 1. 5 times 8 is 40, divided by 2 is 20, so I don't need brackets there. 8 divided by 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, but if I put brackets here, then I have to do this first, so that ends up becoming 8 divided by 4, which is 2. And then 2 times 3 is 6, times 4 is 24. Do not need brackets there. Now, here's a little rule. Another one. There's a few rules that we're going through. When there are no brackets, do multiplication or division before addition and subtraction. So it seems like we're coming across these rules, right? Brackets first, then multiplication and division from left to right, and then addition and subtraction also from left to right. There's an interesting thing about what to do inside the brackets. If there's more than one operation, you have to follow these rules as well. But so let's use those rules to help work on these questions, right? So we have 4 plus 5 times 2. So that 5 plus 2 has to get done first. And so my next line of calculation is going to be 4 plus, and then this is 10. So I have to write 4 plus 10, which equals 14. Here I do the 3 times 4, so that's 12, and then I still have that plus 5. Then 12 plus 5 is 17. Here it's 12 minus 10, because the 2 plus 5 gets done first. And then 12 minus 10 is 2. Over here, the 3 times 8 gets done first, so that's 24 minus 5, and that's 19. Over here, that 6 divided by 3 gets done first, and so that's 3 plus 2, which gives us 5. Over here, that's 8 divided by 2 gets done first, so that's 4 plus 2, which gives us 6. Over here, the 15 divided by 5 gets done first, so that's 3 minus 2, which equals 1. And then this 6 divided by 2 gets done first, so that's 14 minus 3, which equals 11. So a couple more challenging questions. If you would like, you can just pause the video for a second, try them on your own, and then when you're ready to unpause, you can just join me again. But over here, you would have do this one first, so that ends up being 34 plus 100, which is just 134. This one I do this first, so that becomes 1300 minus 10, which is 1290. And then this has to get done first, so that becomes 96 minus 2, which equals 94. Again, brackets always get done first, then you do multiplication and division, then you do addition and subtraction, again from left to right. Okay, so we're being asked to just work with some equations and to just write a subtraction equation from the first equation. So then I would say, well, that's 7 minus 4 equals 3. And this one I can write a division question based on this. I would say 12 divided by 4 equals 3. So that's the equation I can write from the second one. And so what I wanted to point out is that there's something called an inverse relationship between addition and subtraction, that you can, if you have an addition equation, you can come up with a subtraction equation that uses the same sort of factors. Same with multiplication and division. There's an inverse relationship between that stuff. Okay, so let's try to make this into an easier problem. And so I'm going to circle what I have to do first. So that gets done first. Then that means that I would write 8 minus 6, and then that would equal 2. Okay, so now we're going to just go through and circle the things that get done first. Sometimes it's going to be the first two terms, sometimes it'll be the second two terms. But again, multiplication gets done first. Now this one I only have addition, subtraction. So I just do addition, subtraction, left to right. This one, the division gets done before the subtraction. Here the multiplication gets done first. Here the multiplication gets done first because it's left to right. Division gets done first here. And then this is a bit hard to see, but there is a division part that gets done first. Okay, so then we're going to rewrite this as 13 minus 12. This one's going to be 4 plus 12. This one's going to be 16 minus 3. This one's going to be 14 minus 2. This is going to be 12 minus 3. This is going to be 18 divided by 3. This one will be 6 plus 3. And this last one will be 6 times 2. And so once we figure out what gets done first, we're able to write an easier question. All right, so this one is a bit trickier because it's got a few more things going on in it. And so what that means is we're going to end up with a couple of lines of calculation. And so we do this stuff first. It's in the brackets. So I'm going to say, well, that's 9 minus 3 times, and then 6 minus 4 is 2. Now that's my new rewritten question. Now I've still got a subtraction and a multiplication. And so I do that multiplication first. So that's 9 minus 6. And then that's going to equal 3. Notice I've got 3 lines of calculation. Okay, so here, that gets done first. So that's going to give me 15 minus 5 minus 3. Now I can just do the subtraction from left to right. 15 minus 5 is 10, minus 3 is 7. Over here, I have addition, multiplication, and division. This stuff here is actually going to get done first. So that's 2 plus 12 divided by 6. Now I have addition and division, and the division gets done first. So that's going to be 2 plus 2, and that's going to be 4. Over here, there's brackets that get done first. So that's going to give me 6 times 4 minus 10. Now I have multiplication and subtraction. Multiplication gets done first because of the rules that I'm learning about. So that's 24 minus 10, and that's going to equal 14. Over here, I'm going to do this division first because I have division, multiplication, that just gets done left to right. I have to wait on the subtraction. So 8 divided by 2 is 4. Then it's times 3 minus 4. Now I have a multiplication that gets done before subtraction. And so that's 12 minus 4, which gives me 8. And then I'm running a little short on time today. So if you want to try that one on your own, you're very welcome to. But those are sort of how the flow of order of operations goes. Brackets first, then do multiplication, division from left to right, then do addition, subtraction from left to right. The practice is on page 138 and 139, which says right here. And so thanks for watching and have a great day.